Daniel Priestley. He's the author of KeyPersonOfInfluence, and he has a formula or a workflow for working through elevator pitches. These are a pitch that you can do around your business or your product or service that should be able to be told to someone in an elevator, so under 30 seconds. What we're going to do in this particular video is have a look at who he is and have a look at this one video that he did back in December called Grab Attention in 30 seconds with this secret business pitch. What we're going to do is reverse engineer it by having a look at the transcript. So we'll come down here and we'll go and click on the transcript, and we're going to take all this information that he said and have a look at some of the screenshots that he's got along the way. But then we're going to turn it into a GPT powered workflow. So an SOP purely for doing elevator pitches. If we get a chance, we may even test it out on a couple of ideas and see what it comes up with. So I'm Happy Dave. If these sorts of videos, if you want to work one-on-one with me to learn how to create things just like we're doing live right now, then check the link down below. So let's have a look at the basic idea we want to talk about. So show how to turn the DENT pitch framework into an automated, repeatable process using AI tools. Now, what is he trying to talk about here? So the first thing is he's trying to talk about what do you do. You're trying to share it in a way that's engaging, and when people listen to it, they either want to work with you or at least they know enough about you to go, okay, that's what David does or Happy Dave does, but this is not for me. Because what you're trying to do is separate the people that would be a good fit for your business versus the people that aren't a good fit and might actually waste a bit of your time and energy if you were to pursue them. And this is what a good elevator pitch should be able to solve. So what I've gone and done is I've come over, grabbed the transcript, and what we'll do is we'll bring up the GPT view, and all I've said is read and absorb and say yay. So we've got all the information that he had and we got yay, and let's figure out what we can do. Now today at the moment we're using the 4.0 model. We may use the O3 model at the end. I have a use case that I want to experiment with this, but I think the main thing is, what is this all about? Can you give me a simple description so I can understand it? Can you give me a basic outline? And can you give me why it might be important for my business? And I'm a YouTuber or a content creator known as... Every time I use Siri to do this, it would say Happy Dave. And I'm not going to go into whether I'm happy or not. This is a pitching framework designed to help entrepreneurs, business owners, and content creators clearly and confidently explain what they do in a way that hooks attention, generates interest. It's called the name, same, fame, game, aim, game structure. Okay. And it encourages or ensures that when someone says, what do? You deliver a compelling, memorable, and effective answer in under 30 seconds. So this sounds great. Funnily enough, I've given some information and it's actually filled in some stuff. Let's just see what it did. So I'm Happy Dave, the creator of... I'm David, the creator of the Happy Dave channel. I run a YouTube channel that creates fun and educational content about tech and apps. So this is not quite right, but that's okay. I've reviewed over 500 apps. No, I haven't. Helped thousands of users find the best tools and collaborate with the major brands. And right now I'm growing a YouTube channel to 100,000 subscribers. My goal is actually 10,000 this year, and launching a new series of AI tools that I am doing. My mission is to help make tech more accessible and help people get the most out of their digital lives. Now, this is what an elevator pitch is. It's something you should be able to say in 30 seconds, but we've only given it a single input. We've only given it Happy Dave. And part of the workflow that we want to do today is work through this and come up with a what we do that's really close to what I'm doing based on a bunch of questions. So let's see what else it says. Why is it important? More engagement, helps grab attention quickly. This is really important. Better branding, cool. Networking lets you stand out. The same thing, different words. Confidence. This is also important. If someone asked me recently what I do, and I don't have clarity in my head. I do a whole lot of things, and I know a lot, but how do I frame it or reframe it for them? That's a bit of a challenge. Okay, so let's look through this, and let's just write in another concept and say, great, this is important. At some stage, I'm going to want to think about the analogies or the stories or the examples that he has in the transcript, but that's not important right now. What's more important is that if you were to create a question and answer form for me, in which I could fill in the form, and at the end of it, I was able to come out with an elevator pitch, what would be the basic steps that we would be going through, and what in just 2 to 3 words per question would be the fields that I would need to fill in for each step. So what I am trying to do here is create a workflow in a simplistic form. Now, the storytelling will be useful later when we need to create the prompts, because the storytelling has a lot of detail that's not here. But at the moment, I'm just trying to get a layout. So in his video, let's just let's go over to this view for a second. He starts talking about this concept called the hook pitch, and you're seeing it right here. And he calls it a hook pitch because obviously it's a hook, but it's the shape of the hook that I found a little bit interesting. So he draws it from the top of the hook here, and it goes downwards. And what he talks about in the video is that this is about a lowering of energy. When you start, this is just about lowering your energy, and then you end up on a crescendo. I think that's the right word. So as you move up and you go through the different stages of the hook, people are feeling energized and compelled to listen more to what you're talking about. So if we come back to here for a second and we say, what are the steps that we're going to look at? Name, who are you? Full name, brand and channel. Okay. And I know that the full name is important. My name is David Cruis, and he says that you give your name first and then what you're creating. So I know that this is correct when I look at the video, but again, I shouldn't be giving that away because we will go into detail on each of these. Then same, what do you do? Industry niche, basic service content. Okay, fame, what makes you stand out? Aim, what's your current focus? And we got some questions, so we might just look. In fact, what do we? Niche, basic service content type. Awards, okay, cool. USP, this is great. Then we've got short-term goal. Okay, this is exactly what I want in my own elevator pitches and what I'm working on right now. What's your long-term vision? Okay, cool. And then it's given me an example of how to fill it out. So let's go and have a look at this first one. So what I'm going to do, because we have the entire transcript, we can probably derive most of the information that we need out of this section right here. But I want to go deeper. I'm now just focused on name. We don't need to talk about anything else. What I would like you to do is come up with any of the analogies, stories, or concepts that were talked about in the particular video that will help us understand further how we should build this particular step in the workflow. So introducing yourself and your brand in a way that sticks in people's minds. Great concept. People assume that if they've, okay, this is good. People assume that if they've told someone their name or brand, it will be remembered. So he talks about this, that especially if there's people that receive a lot of pictures or you're networking, you just don't remember people's name the next time around. So it's really important at the beginning of the phase that we have that. So I think as we develop the workflow, we should have that as an instruction. Okay, I think that's, or a reminder to the person filling in the form as to why this is important. Reality, and we give a reality. Lesson, introduce yourself and your brand, even if you think it should be remembered. Okay, cool. This opens a mental folder in the brain. They can store information. Example, imagine you meet someone at a networking event and they say, remind me of your name again. Yeah, okay. That happens a lot. Instead of assuming they should remember, hey, I'm happy to, this gives them, okay, so this is going fairly deep for us. So photographic memory is a myth analogy. Some people assume that names stick in people's minds like photograph. I don't need to read this because I totally understand this is true. I'm and I run. This seems to be the pattern that the prompt will be creating will have. Hey, I'm Dave, too vague. Hey, I'm Appy Dave and I run a YouTube channel. Okay, cool. Filling cabinet in the brain concept. The brain needs a place to store information and the folder namings. Right, okay. You know what? This is way too deep, though it was useful. Let's just summarize this, please. Keep all the relevant bits. Yeah, that looks good. Next time I do the next step in the workflow, I'll probably ask it to go deep and summarize would be the thing that I'm thinking of. But I'd now also actually have a legitimate question in this area. So the legitimate question for me is, should I say, hi, I'm Appy Dave and the channel I have, or hi, I'm David Crewis and the channel is Appy Dave? Or should I say, hi, I'm Appy Dave and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm not sure what the correct way to go is. You can use search in this particular question if you want, but my question is, should I talk about Appy Dave and the YouTube channel that is Best Apps and Tools when filling in this part of the form, or should I use my full name, David Crewis, and that the YouTube channel is Appy Dave? What does Daniel say about this particular topic? So we're just trying to formulate the best course of action here. Personal name and business name. I thought he did. So one of the things that it was important for me to work this out is that if I didn't build this knowledge into the chat conversation right now, it would stick to this, and this would actually be an incorrect divergence from the path. This is one of the things really important with doing prompt engineering, is that don't let anything go askew. Like, get really detailed and fine-grained on each step in the workflow. Okay, Daniel's name, yeah, for your situation would be effective. Okay, cool. At this point, I need to keep a little bit of information aside, being the structure of the document we're building. So the structure will be representing a workflow. It will have input field names. It will have a description. It will have a little bit of information about those field names. And it will also have any edge cases, scenarios, analogies that we need to be aware of. And we have only talked about one area at the moment. It's the name. So the document should only have that information in it. Now, this, as I started making that statement, that wasn't really what I wanted to do. I really wanted to create a hierarchy because I want to be able to visualize this in a mind map as well. Okay, so we're gonna keep that information, and great. Now I need a little code block. It is not meant to be part of the document that you just created. This is just continuing on in the conversation, and it just needs to be a hierarchy in a code block in ASCII format that just lists the name of the workflow, the input fields, and the expected output field or fields if there are more than one. Everything should be really short names. Everything should be like a file name in lowercase with dashes between everything. Okay, workflow name, crafting your pitch. Okay, cool. Input fields, output. Okay, well that's wrong. That does not seem to be correct, because while crafting your pitch kind of makes sense as a workflow name, we are only on a particular step, which is the define your name section of the hook process. So let's think of this a little bit differently. Let's think of it as a workflow, and you've given it a fine name. We're good with that. And that the first step will be about talking about or gathering information about your name, and then you'll do the input fields and you'll do the output fields. Also, visually, can we make it look more like it would be a folder structure if I was just doing a list of files and their folders in a terminal? I'm just trying to make it easier for me to visually see how this all comes together. So what's it doing? Crafting your pitch, define your name, input fields, full name and brand. Okay. Output fields, structured name introduction. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Now, let's move on to the next step, I think. So the next step he talks about is same. And we are not visually showing what he's talking about. So same. In this area, what he's trying to do is not go into complexity. And it's one of the things I do all the time. I talk about agent workflows, blah, 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 blah. And people go, well, what's an agent workflow, right? It's too technical. And I'm a technical person, so I love talking technically, but people's eyes glaze over. So this is about bringing it back to something they understand. And this is why the energy is in this downward momentum. It's a case of we're not trying to do the pitch at the moment. We're just trying to get people aligned with who we are. So we've got this same going on, and we're going to bring up our GPT for a sec and say, the next area I want to focus on is in the pitch, the area called same. As before, I'd like you to think about the analogies or boundaries or things that I should know if I was to go deep into the research on this, and just present that information to me. Once you've finished presenting that information to me, can you also then do what you did before and give me a bit more of a summarized version of it so I can read it in about a minute or so? Now, one of the things that, if we wanted to do this entire video, by the way, in one shot, which we're not, we're going step by step, then we'd be able to use the new capabilities that are coming through from OpenAI in the deep research area, because everything we're doing is what I would consider deep research. And I would formulate a certain sort of steps into a prompt, and then I would just give it to a deep research prompt, and what's probably going to take us about an hour to do could probably be done automatically in about 10 minutes, and probably a lot deeper than I can go. But the reason it was important for me to put this little information down the end is because we got the summary, is because like before, this went too deep. Low resolution image analogy. Okay, concept same. Same statement, like a low res is a blurry but recognizable. Your audience shouldn't have to work. That's a perfect statement. Your audience shouldn't have to work hard to understand the same. So let's just go into GPT view. Immediately classified, not impressed. So I'm a digital storyteller revolution. Yeah, that sounds like me. I run a marketing agency. Simple and easy. That's where I should be. Okay. Grandma and the 8-year-old test. He talks about this in the video. This is interesting. And I think this is a good thing you can do with ChatGPT. You can reframe information at any target audience. So how do I tell grandma? How do I tell my child who's eight years of age? So I optimize enterprises, cloud infrastructure, systems like blah, blah, blah. I set and manage cloud service for businesses. Clear and simple. Don't know that grandma would understand it, but that's okay. I don't even think the child would understand it. And, you know, if I wanted to go a little deeper into this, what I could do is actually ask ChatGPT that question and say, look, these are great, but I don't think either my grandma or my 8-year-old would understand that. Can you reframe it a little bit? Now, am I reframing it so that it does a better job here, or am I reframing it so that the instructions are better? Because with prompt engineering, it's not about the output, it's always about the instructions. So I could reframe this a little bit if I wanted to. I'm not going to. So I'm just going to miss all of these analogies and stories that are going on here, and I'm just going to say, summary. The blurry image, the answer should be clear but not detailed. It should work for an 80-year-old or an 8-year-old. Fit in a mental category. It should be a familiar category. Should be boring, which is why when we look at the image, the energy is going down. Don't try to be different. Comes because you've got a step for that. That's the fame. And think of it like an order. I'd like a burger, McDonald's. And one of the things that I've got my own focus on 2 books at the moment. It's KeyPersonOfInfluence, of which we're going into depth on just one step in that right now. And the other one is the E-Myth. And the E-Myth really talks about McDonald's a lot and how if you're going to have a business, it's all about systematization. So I run a YouTube channel that has, great. So what we'll do is we'll add it to our, we had a big story. Okay. We had a document earlier that was keeping all the detail for the name section. What was the name of that particular document? I don't remember what you called it, but can you also extend it with this new area on the step called same? Now I made a little mistake here too because I didn't think about what the inputs and the outputs were. It might not matter. So what do we got? Name, input fields, and then we're at same input fields, industry and niche, basic service content type. Great. Can we also come back to our little hierarchical folder file structure that we did earlier, which was just listing the workflow and its steps and its input fields and its output fields, and just make sure that this new step in the workflow has been added called same. And this is great, but I get my, this is one of the problems with ChatGPT, is that it goes and thinks that it's meant to be part of this document and it's not. We might just leave it the way it is, but because it's such a pain to change this from time to time. So what do we got? Define your name, full name and brand, structured name introduction. Cool. Define your same. like that. Input fields, industry niche, basic service, clear category description. Sounds good to me. Cool. Let's stop working on this section of the document, and I just want to move on to the next point. What was that? Just give me the name. And all I'm doing here is I could have told it was fame, but I want to make sure that it as a conversation is in alignment and understands that we've changed context. This is a brand new context right here. So it's the fame section. Okay, cool. Can you, firstly, just give me a 50-word understanding of what this fame section is about so I can talk about it in the video. So we're in this ascending thing. So we've given our name, we've made people understand something from their thought process about what it is, and now we want to describe the fame. And it's where you highlight the things that make you unique, credible, and memorable. Okay, cool. This is the brag moment, showcasing awards, big client names, or impressive numbers. It shifts energy upward. People get excited. This is the step that sets you apart and builds trust and curiosity in your brands. Now, one of the things I'm going to do with this workflow is I'm going to take it further, because this is a workflow for creation. One of the things I love doing with ChatGPT is not just the creation process, but it's the after creation processes. So if we remember, I'm just going to say, can you just keep in the back of your mind, we're not talking about it right now, something that I need to consider at the end, and it will be additional steps in the process. The one that's coming to mind now is real-time analysis, which is always checking my videos to ensure that when I'm doing elevator pitches that they're on point, and probably a second step in that particular workflow, could they be improved, both energetically or written wise. And when I say energetically, you will have access to the audio to know how I'm talking. But for now, just keep this as a back of mind consideration for the end of this live stream. So I have this Project Theodore, which is really agents that watch live streams. And the goal around that is this sort of stuff. It's great for Daniel Priestley to come up with this brilliant workflow, and I can automate it, but if I'm not using it effectively in the future, what's the point? And that's where my extra value in life for different people is how do you take this to the next level? Okay, got it. At the end of I'm not even going to read that because I'll figure that out later. Okay, now can you go into depth, as we've done before with the other two steps, around the fame step? The things I will also be interested in here are the inputs and the outputs. And also give me, no, don't, I was going to say give me the summary, but we just did one. We don't need to do it again. So this is great. Deep dive analogies, concepts, great. So what do we got? Why should they care? People are constantly filtering information and deciding whether it's worth their attention. Cool. If you don't stand out, you just become a forgettable meme. Yeah, it says name, but forgettable meme. The fame step gives people reason to pay attention to you specifically. I run a digital marketing agency. Okay, but why does it matter? I run a marketing agency that helps 500 businesses generate 10 million. Yeah, see this, now we're starting to sound like Alex Hormozi. So this is really cool. Movie trailer analogy. I create YouTube videos about tech. I reviewed over 500 apps, partnered with major tech brands, and built a community of 50,000 subscribers. Yeah, look, that sounds a lot better too. Okay. Okay, let's go back to our original document that we've been building and add in the fame step, and make sure you're updating the fields in the hierarchy list or workflow at the end. So this will take a little while because it's just pretty much just rewriting everything without changes. This is how Canvas works. I've done a few videos on this topic if you're interested. You can find a lot of the stuff where I, once I solidify knowledge from the live streams, I like to then take them over to Appy Dave. It's so much easier for me to do a live stream than it is a video on Appy Dave. So a lot of what I do here doesn't get over there. Okay, define your fame. Input fields, biggest achievements, notable clients or brands, numbers. That's okay. This is cool. I think there's okay. So biggest achievement. We'll leave it at that. That sounds great. We are changing context again. What is the fourth step in the hook pitch? We'll just move over here. It's called the aim. And now what's happened here? Oh, you know what? It's called aim. Great. So why? I'm just going to hit refresh on this window. Sometimes ChatGPT has some user interface issues. Great. Can you give me 2 pieces of information? Can you give me the short description of what this step is all about so I can read it on the YouTube video, the live stream that we're doing right now? And then can you go into the deeper research around this as well? And at the end of that, can you also just list what you think the input fields and the output fields will be? Okay, short description. Aim is the step. Let's go back up, come to here. Aim is the step where you clarify your current focus or short-term goal. This is great. I'm talking while Siri is on. While fame is about past achievements, aim tells people what you're working on right now. This keeps your pitch fresh, makes it relevant, and gives your audience a reason to engage with you in the present moment. Okay, cool. So we've now got analogies. Concept, right. I'm just going to read an example rather than the concept. I've built a successful YouTube channel with 100,000 subscribers. That's cool. It's funny when I tell people that I've got like 1,500 or 1,800 or whatever in one-on-one conversation. They go, "Wow, that's pretty good." And people on the internet wouldn't say that because we all look at these hundreds and million subscribers, but it's such a hard goal. To get to 1,000 subscribers, there's only a small number of YouTubers that do that. And I've got 2 channels at the moment that are over the 1,000, and I've got 2 others that are well and truly on their way there. So it's an interesting thing to talk about, but we're going to go into the right way. Right now, I'm focused on launching a new series on AI productivity tools, which is great because this is just a brag, right? That's just a brag. This is something that can solve a problem right now. So let's come back and read the concept. The audience needs to know why your work is relevant today. Cool. If you only talk about past achievements, people think you're static. Yeah, it's so true. Sharing your current focus makes you active, dynamic, and forward moving. This is wonderful. Let's just move, open loop. Let's see what this is. When you mention an ongoing project, you create curiosity and invite. So I got, yeah, this is cool. This encourages future engagement. I create tech reviews is boring. Right now I'm working on the latest AI powered apps and testing yeah, this is okay, but it's not specific. This one, when I look at it, it's okay, but it's vague. But what is an open loop? So in communication technique, you can have closed questions, you can have open questions. Open questions get people to ask answers. So maybe that's what it means here. Don't know. But let's move on. Input fields, current focus, what's your main project? Short-term goal, relevant actions. What are you doing to reach it? This is cool. Concise aim statement. Cool. I'm also wondering, could we adapt? Okay, I'm going to make a statement which is both bad and useful. It's bad because you shouldn't adapt things, right? You shouldn't try to do too many things. This is an elevator hook, and even me talking about the QA analysis shouldn't actually be part of this. That should be part of a separate workflow. But the other thing that I'm thinking about here is that in doing this, we're also creating a lot of detailed brand information as well, and it'd be nice to have that stored somewhere because that can be used in other sorts of workflows. So I'm just sharing that knowledge at the moment as we look through it. Example of a strong aim step. Right now I'm growing a YouTube channel to 100,000 subscribers by launching a new AI focused video series. At the moment I'm helping 30 entrepreneurs scale their business. Currently I'm developing a course on productivity that will launch in 3 months. Yeah, okay, cool. Final thoughts. Can you just tell me briefly what the next step is going to be? Then can you add the information in the formats we've talked about above to the document? Game. Cool. So while that is doing whatever it's doing, and it's just rewriting, we move over to game, and we can just talk about it here. So what is the game? And I don't actually know because I didn't just read it right then, but obviously it's going to be something right at the end of this. So apologies. My own understanding of this is it's not huge. I've only just started researching this myself. Crafting an elevator pitch, name, same, fame, aim, hierarchy. Cool. Next step, focus on your long-term vision. Okay, vision and mission, I guess. I wonder if this would tie into taglines. That'd be interesting. Now, is it finished? I think it is finished. So let's move out of here and say, great. Now give me the description on game. Give me then also the detailed analogies, stories, etc. that were from the transcript. I was going to say don't go too far away from it, but it might be useful for it to go away from it. Otherwise, I'll have a very constrained set. So we'll let it do that, and then we'll talk about this next area. So again, we are in the game, the last step, and this is where I guess the knockout punch. Short description. The game is about your big picture vision, what you're working towards in the next 3 to 5 years. It's where you inspire people with your mission, purpose, and long-term impact. This step helps the audience see a bigger. Okay, cool. Now I've got a question here that I don't understand about this, and we'll go into it at the end. What is the question? Where does CTA fit? Is it relevant? So I'm gonna just leave that sitting down the bottom or in my clipboard, and we'll ask it at the end. So deep dive, GPT view on this, and we say, the game step shifts the conversation towards the short-term focus aim to the bigger purpose that drives you. Okay, great. It provides compelling reason for people to stay connected, whether they want to join, invest in your vision or support. Cool. Why does this matter? The game is bigger reason behind everything you do. The people want to support a missions, not just businesses or content creators. This is awesome because behind me is a number of, there's more than one mission. It depends on which channel and which pillar idea that I'm talking about, because I have more than one pillar idea that I talk about. I run a marketing agency. Okay, it says okay, but for what purpose? Firstly, I just say that's crap. It's not even okay. It's crap. I'm building a movement that helps small businesses thrive in the digital world. Now, this is okay. I don't even think it's great. It's okay, but I feel that this is kind of in alignment with where I can go, because I'm of a belief that large language models and workflows, now it might depend on what happens with reasoning models, but understanding large language models and workflows is what people should be focusing on to automate and systematize their business. Now, I did give the caveat there about the reasoning models, because they might be better at it than even the workflow. We might not even need workflows in the future, but I think we will. Who knows? It depends on whether we get to super intelligence quicker than everyone thinks. Okay, think of your game as the North Star. It guides your decisions. Okay, I want to grow a YouTube channel. No, I want to be the go-to educator for people looking to master AI tools. Great. This one, by the way, doesn't fit in with me. I don't want to be that person. Mission. In fact, that's another question. Specifics. Let's just put that in there. Broad versus targeted. So I'm going to come back to this in relation to these, and then we get down the bottom and we've got inputs. Long-term vision, what you want to achieve. Bigger purpose. Okay. Impact statement. Okay. Great. Let's put this back in here. Specifics. And what was this related to in? Okay. So here's the question I'm going to can you just check in on what Daniel Priestley talks about with these ideas about how specific you should be? And the reason I'm asking is when I look at the examples, I like them. I think they're all good, but I am curious. I don't know whether my thinking is right as to whether they're a little too broad or whether they should be more fine-grained. Like, what should a key person of influence be doing? Should they be very targeted? Should they be broader? Or should it just depend on where they are in their journey? I just realized looking at the screen that I'm looking this way and ChatGPT is this way. That's a bit disconcerting. Should deliver pictures that are laser focused and specific rather than broad and generalized. This targeted in his capstone framework, and I'm going to talk about this too because I couldn't find much information on the internet either by him, but apparently it's in the book. And I've got 3 videos in this series. So the first one, we're looking at the elevator pitch. The second one, what we'll do is we'll look at the score app, because I think that's really powerful. And then the third one, we'll do the capstone. And I want to, I want to do all of this in the next week because I'm really just trying to get immersed in this particular topic at the moment. Okay. When we get to the end and we're building stuff out, that sort of knowledge that you just told me is important. The reason is that I felt that the examples you gave were a little bit broad. Just remember this for now. Don't do anything else. The other question I have is that, and this could just be me trying to change the nature of the hook pitch, but I am curious. There's no call to action to next steps. This is just giving out information. It's kind of like a business card on steroids. And I'm curious, where does the idea of after this information being delivered, is there a part of this that's meant to direct people towards a next step, or is it meant to stop here and that's part of a second conversation? So this is me again being a bit silly and trying to change someone's framework. And one of the things I'm learning really late in life, don't do that. But it doesn't stop me from having the conversation. Okay. Your instinct is right. The current name does not include a CTA. It's primarily established for credibility, intrigue, and however, could be a limitation. Yeah, rightio. We don't need to talk about this because, like I said, he has his capstone framework. And that's probably going to lead into areas like that as well. Okay. So what I don't want to do is pollute our conversation with this knowledge. This is a really important thing to do in conversational prompt engineering. So you got two techniques here. You can say, oh, please forget, right? You can tell it, build a new document, but don't include this. But it's still not the best. The best is to just come back up here and ignore the question, rewrite it. And what it does is it splits or forks the conversation in a new direction. So we go, okay. Great. It looks like we've got everything we need to finalize the document. What I want you to do is give me a final document. I want you to give me all the fields that you think are important. And then what I want you to do is tell me, in your opinion, in about 3 or 4 short sentences, whether there's anything else that I might be missing. But draw your questions specifically from the transcript. Don't go outside of this knowledge base. So we're ready to finish the document, which means we can step into the workflow, which means we can step into testing it with a couple of ideas. This document, if I was building an agent, a workflow agent, this document would also be part of it. It would be in what's called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, so that every time a prompt is being used, it's also using this particular knowledge base as it goes through. So let's come through here, define your game, input fields. Yeah, cool. From the transcript, there are a few things to consider. Specifics versus broad may need sharper, yeah, this is good. I'm glad I asked this question because it's not, I don't know the answer. I assume that because I'm an early brand, I need to be hyper-focused. I don't know that Daniel would be. Maybe he is. I think he might have broader statements in what he's doing because he's educated people a lot. Generally through podcasts. Real-time analysis step. Should there be an ongoing self-review process to check energy delivery and effectiveness over time? Yep, this is nothing to do with this particular process, but it's a new workflow that I'd like to develop. Audience alignment. Are we ensuring the game? Yep, call to action. Okay. These final thoughts are only ever going to be notes. They're not part of the main document. What I would like now from you is just the fields and the hierarchy in just a code block. It's not part of this document. I think we got to click out of the document before we do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over into a mind map, because I think there's a little bit of information here that I want to use when I use it. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to copy, I've just copied this information, and I'm just going to paste it in over here for a sec. I'm going to get rid of this headline. What's it called? We'll call it winning prompts. Below is a format for a document that I had created in a mind map. The information in the document is irrelevant. Only the format is important. What I'd like you to do is take my crafting your pitch structure above and make sure it aligns with this particular format. Now, well, that's no good. That was not correct because the format was in ASCII format and in a code block originally, and it needs to stay in that format because I need to copy and paste this directly into a mind map. Now this is something I do every now and then. It's like taking information, putting it in a mind map, going to a mind map, putting it into ChatGPT. And it should really be done as a tool. I should create a tool for this, but like everything in life, we never have time to do it. But I'm showing you how you can use ChatGPT as a transformational tool. And that's all we've done. So we'll just copy this. We'll go over to our web view for a second, and we'll call it the DENT elevator, right? And from there, I'm just going to paste all this information. Now, I think there might be an alignment issue. We'll just go with that, and we'll split it into a tree. And hopefully, everything is there. So, crafting your pitch is the name. Define your name, full name and brand. This is good. Okay. That was good, but I actually need you to get rid of the dashes, just keep the indentations, and make sure that define your name and all the other steps below it are indented in one level from crafting your pitch. And we'll just do this. All we're trying to do is make sure that we've got a visualization of this in a mind map. Not strictly speaking needed by you guys, but it's definitely something that helps me a lot. So we'll just take all this information and we come over here and we'll paste it in, and we'll go split into wrong format, split into a tree, and we have it. Crafting your pitch. Just need to clear that up, and it will be define your name. We got them all there. Cool. So at this point, what I would want to do now is create prompts and create a workflow. So here's a workflow. This is how you plan a YouTube live stream, and the live stream planning that I did was around this one. So the planning is this list of steps: video idea, define the goal, audience, and at the end of it, I get a reference card. And I'm wondering where I put that. We'll just put this up here. So this is what we've been talking about today. That's the folder I'm putting it into. This is the purpose. There's the pitch framework. And all of this came through just working through 8 different steps. All of that's about a 10-minute job. And Where are we at on our live stream? I have no idea. We're at 54 minutes. So the 54-minute video takes less than 20 minutes to actually prepare. And what I end up with is just a reference card that I can look through and go, well, what am I going to talk about in this? So what we've done is we've reverse engineered the DENT. I don't know what DENT stands for. I just know he goes by that. GPT powered standard operating procedure. So in this particular live stream planning, this is an SOP and it's GPT powered. So we're just trying to reverse engineer it. And what we've been able to do is go, well, there are all the steps. There are all the inputs. So the inputs are the fields that might be on the left over here, whatever they might be. And the name of the step would be here. So that's all good. And the inputs go through a prompt and they create one or more outputs. Now, I think most of these, yeah, sometimes you get more than one output. So this is what we're being able to reverse engineer through this. So what do I want to do next? Well, maybe let's come back to here and say talking points, turning it into a web app for easy app use. I will not do that right now. I will just talk about that. It will be in a web app. It will be a wizard right here, probably by the end of the day, because in the next video that I do on Appy Dave, where I actually do the long form version of this live stream, this will be completed. Now, live demonstration, watch the AI generation pitch in real time. So I think we should do that. I think we should finish off over the next 10 minutes and we go, cool. What has that done? And why did that happen? Sorry guys, I don't know what we would have seen. Different desktop. I need you to create the list of steps, not in a document, just keep it in the conversation with what we're at, with the inputs. And I want you to formulate it as a bunch of questions that we might do in order. So you won't ask all the questions at once. I want you to think it through and maybe just present me the plan of action. So to explain further, this is the scenario. I want to work through a particular brand idea. I'll probably go through Appy Dave, and I need to have all the different questions asked of me in sequence so I can build up my elevator pitch. Do not try to fill in any answers yet. It's only questions. So can you list all that for me, please? Now, what I think we'll do at this point is test this concept with the O3 model. So the O3 model is a reasoning model, and it might be able to do this for us. I'm curious whether we should be doing it in the same window or whether we should go to a new window. I think because it's a new concept, we've started off a new idea here. We might take all this information, go to a chat window, paste it in, make sure that we're on the O3 model. I would like to work through and creating an elevator pitch for my business. And I'm following KeyPersonOfInfluence, Daniel Priestley, who has a questionnaire that he provided me with. And this is the questionnaire. And what I want you to do is just work through with me each part of it and just capture my answers. One of the things that you should do is consider that my answers could be cleaned up a little bit, and you should also consider whether we proceed to the next step or whether there's anything about my answers that I'd like to change. Does that make sense? Are you ready for this questionnaire? So we'll paste that in and see what happens. I'll just type in step by step. Okay, we'll go to David Cruis. Happy Dave. I might also just, I don't know whether I'm meant to do this. It's a YouTube channel and business. How do you so why did it say that? Now, question 3. What is question 3? Let's come back to what we've got here. Okay, so this is good. Oh, okay, this is good. Hey, I'm Dave. I'm also known as Appy Dave. I help people with prompt engineering, AI agent workflows, and coding with AI, pair programmers. So if you're watching this, you go, that's stupid. It's a useless statement. I do want you to realize, though, I'm not sure if it... You know what I don't know here as I'm using it, and this will clarify itself more when I get into a actual workflow where I can write my own prompts, is I don't know whether it's going to think that this is the right way to go. I think what we've got to do is bring these questions back to the previous conversation, which is right here, and use this, because this has all the knowledge that we've pulled together about what's good and what's bad. There's nothing about this Q&A that knows what's good or bad. I look at that and think that's bad. I don't actually want it, and so this is a little bit of a challenge. But we'll move on with, would you like... I just want that last question you asked me to be at the very least simplified, because it sounds a little bit technical and long at the moment. In fact, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this just the way it is. So I've just had, this is how you work out workflows. You try stuff and then you get to paths, forks in the road, and you go, what the hell do I do next? Hi, I'm going to take that information. I'm going to go over here. So at this point, I might also, do I want to split here? Yeah, the original document that we've been putting together on all the different points. I just need you to keep it top of mind, because I'm going to start giving you some questions, answers, and what you're going to do is, based on the knowledge you already have that we've been developing, you're going to tell me what you think would be a better version of the sentence I give you. The sentence I gave you would just be because I answered a few of the questions. Makes sense? Cool. So we're going to use this conversation purely to absorb the questions, and then we're going to use this conversation, which has all of our knowledge in it, and we're going to use it to answer the questions. So coming back here, and let's also give ourselves this view and move on to that. I'm now in need of refining the names section, and currently this is the information I've got. I'm going to give you raw information plus how I thought to combine it. And what we're going to do is we're going to improve this even further. I'm known a great. Let's edit this one. We're forking in the road at this point, and we select it all and say, it's like I've left Siri on. I wish they had text to speech or speech to text built into this in well, maybe they do here, but they don't hear. Okay. Can you give me just a simple fact sheet in a code block with my individual answers to each of the questions and your resulting output that you gave me as well? Because what we're going to do with this, these are the inputs, and these are the sorts of inputs that you would give to a too verbose. You don't need to say, you just can do something like name, David Crewis, brand or business. In this example, I expect 4 outputs, 3 of them being the input fields, and the third one being your response and just the name of the step. It's doing a lot of thinking for what is an incredibly simple thing to do. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? This is me figuring out the O3 model in real time as well. Gosh. I wonder if I should have switched over to the 4.0 model. That's nuts. Oh my gosh. Let's come back to this and we'll edit it. And I don't even know how to. You see, one of the things you can't do with this is you can't switch over to the. Can you? Maybe you can. I've never tried this. We're now on that, and we'll press this because this is the sort of how stupid was that other one? Okay, so the reasoning model has its place, but there are times when not to use it. So we'll press copy on that. We'll come back to here. Now I need you to refine the name section. I'm going to give you the raw information. I'm just going to paste this in. Oh yeah, step 1. Let's see what this comes up with. Refined version for clarity. Hi, I'm David Crewis, but most people know me as Happy Dave. I specialize in prompt engineering, AI-driven workflows, and coding with AI assistance tools. Okay, right. So and this is, again, I've really got to get these into workflows because the prompt engineering technique, and I know it's the inputs I gave, which is the problem here, but this is way wrong. This is wrong. Only this section is right. And I'm going to say, you know, you took the information from me and you repeated it in a little bit better format, but I don't think you followed any of the rules from Daniel Priestley, because to me that name section is incredibly long and too much detail in it, and you probably should have told me that. So as I build workflows, this is also something else. This is called a QA step, what we're doing. So we had the creation step where we created it, we gave the inputs, but we've got to validate, is it actually any good? So, hey, I'm Dave, but most people know me as Appy Dave. More professional. I'm David Cruz, founder of Appy Dave. I'm Appy Dave and I help people work smart. Okay, great. Now I got 3 variations, which I think could have been stated by Daniel in his video, because those other ones certainly couldn't. So, okay, we'll store that and we'll move on to the next. And what we'll do is we'll go back to the reasoning model. We'll go to O3 Mini and we will come back to here and we'll just say, great, I now would like you to ask me questions about the next step, which is known as same. What industry? AI agents, comma, prompt engineering, coding with AI. Just going to see if I can do something with the camera. Green screen, zoom. These are called camera effects. What else do I have available with cameras? Don't know. I won't change it in the middle of the stream. I want to be looking the right way. Okay, so by the way, this is a 14th live stream that I've done. Let's just go over here and go YouTube research, and all of them have been done in the last 2 weeks. And I've learnt so much in this process. 12, 13, 14, yeah, 14 of them. So what I'm learning today is that camera direction is wrong. It's not normally in the videos I do, so I think I might have changed something. Okay, define your same. Industry agents, prompt engine coding with, cool. Let's just copy that. I'm just wondering, can we also add, because I think this is almost my primary area of interest, is workflow automation for businesses using AI agents. It's one of the areas I just find really interesting. So we'll come over to here. No, you weren't meant to do the grandma child explanation. Just add that last statement I said. So I'm learning just when to use O3 Mini. It's crazy what it's doing. We come back up here. At this point, we press enter on that. We go back to 4.0 and we submit it. People might be raving about it, but it's got its problems. So we'll just copy this, come back to here, and we'll go. Okay, I'm now going to give you how I filled in the questionnaire for SAME, and can you do something with that, please? So we got AI agents, prompt engineering, coding with AI, workflow automation for businesses using AI agents. Now we've got his rules applied. This is awesome. Okay. Should be boring, not flashy. The goal, it should, okay, great. I work in AI automation and coding. Great. I work in. What not to do. I develop AI agents for that's what I always say. It's almost like it knows me. I developed AI agents for prompt engineering, integrate workflow automation strategies, and specialize in code. Yeah, cheers, Dave. You sound like a nerd, and that's absolutely useless in this context. I'm not convinced about this. I love the version you gave. I wouldn't mind a couple of others. The problem, I think, with the coding is that it's a little bit, it can be useful and maybe it's included, but it might scare off people that are after a little bit of business automation. I'm not sure, because workflow automation is something I love doing and helping people with. Yeah, that's so cool. I help businesses automate workflows using AI. I work in AI-powered automation and coding. I make business processes faster and smarter with AI. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. I build AI tools to automate workflows and improve efficiency. You know, he has a 5-step formula and we shouldn't modify it, but one area we can modify it and make total sense with it is variations at the end of all of this, because we're seeing variations at different steps in the thing, and we can bring them together as a bunch of variations that can be practiced. So I guess he suggests that in that now you go and practice it, but that's something we can definitely automate. I'd lean towards 1 or 3. Yeah. Me too. 1 or 3. Cool. Let's move over to here. And let's go back into Mini. And let's come over to here. And Fame. Ask me questions about the next step of Fame. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go straight into 4 mode. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay in the mini mode. And we'll go into GPT view for a sec and say, what's your biggest achievements related to your brand? See, this is a hard one for me. I don't know what to talk about. And especially because I got to be careful that I'm not intermixing the wrong brand. So one of the big achievements at the moment is, as a solopreneur, solo creator, it's creating, let's do this actually. As a solopreneur, I've been developing workflows, systems and automations that allowed me to run 4 YouTube channels with content that all fits around a central theme, but each channel takes a targeted approach to it. I've become prolific in creating information around prompt engineering and different ways of thinking about agentic agent workflows. So let's just come back here for a second. Come back to our Q&A, number 2. One of the reasons why I use the O3 model, which keeps failing from my point of view. Oh no, it hasn't. Have you won any, featured in the media, or achieved industry record recognition? Yep. I did a live stream on the Ecamm live event last year as one of the guest, I don't know, intelligent people. I don't know. What else? I will leave it at that. The other stuff we've got is a fair bit older. So we'll come back to here. What can you share about your work? Subscriber revenue, clients, views, projects completed. Prolific. 4 YouTube channels, one with 2,600 subscribers, one with 1,800 subscribers, one with 650 subscribers, one with nearly 400 subscribers, and they're across them all probably looking at 200 to 300 videos, and many different workflows are being created, such as the YouTube Launcher Optimizer with 35 steps, and the planner, the live stream planner with 15 to 20 steps. Don't know how useful this information is. Great. Question 3. Have you worked with any well-known clients, companies, or brands? I've worked with Alec from Take One Tech, and not really. So at the moment, I'm a content creator who's not actually doing a lot. So this is one of the scary things I have about doing this work. Is like I don't have credibility in clients. Okay. Okay. What makes you different from others in the industry? This is easy for me. I go deep. I find that most content creators, when they talk about AI, like to do it from the media point of view. It's sensational. They don't always go deep, and I can go deep across a number of disciplines. It's also just to answer the question. It's actually my problem too, because going deep from is hard to do at the best of times, let alone doing it from multiple angles. Okay. Achievements. Okay, so let's just copy this information. It looks like it's gotten it right for me. I don't need to go back to the ChatGPT 4.0 model and say, I now need you to review my answers for fame. So, what are we getting here? The fame, punchy, impressive, and high energy, highlighting credibility, numbers, and authority. Okay. You know what? Even before I let it finish, I'm going to come back up here. I'm just going to stop it. There is another big one. This is working towards a thought concept called the 555 Manifesto, which is about creating 555 videos in 55 weeks across 5 channels. I've been developing unique perspectives such as which is a domain-specific language designed to improve the way we talk with large language models, and which is a thought project in how we get AI agents to watch our life and interact on our behalf with agency. Now, there's too much here. I get that, but I'll let it figure out what it wants to talk about. One of the things we noticed with that last iteration is it gave us a couple of variations. So, and this also talks about where who I'm talking to, right? I might have variations of this. So we got, I built AI-driven workflows that allow me to run multiple channels efficiently, each with a targeted content strategy. I'm known for pioneering innovative approaches to prompt engineering and AI-powered automation. Very long-winded. I was a featured speaker at Ecamm Live Leap event, sharing insights on AI and automation. I've created over 200 AI and automation-focused videos across multiple YouTube channels with a growing audience. My goal is the 555 Manifesto, producing, okay, they're very long, workflow system. I've developed an advanced YouTube launch optimization workflow live stream planning with up to 20 steps. Great. I've collaborated with Alec from Take One Tech and shared insights with AI-focused communities. Yep, okay. That's within a very specific area of people that I communicate with. Unlike many AI content creators who focus on hype, I go deep into AI workflows, automation, and agentic systems. My unique research includes Clueless, a DSL for improving, very technical, for improving AI communication, and Project Theodore. Okay. Final fame statement. What I want to do now is say, you can go look at the original transcript and you can also do a little bit of search on the internet, but how long should a fame statement be? Because what I think we should be considering is more than one fame statement where I can choose which one makes sense for me, and that they should be relatively short, but I don't know the rules for this area. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that area. This is an area that needs me to look at it from different angles, and it was the problem of me giving too many achievements. So I'm sitting here thinking I've got no achievements or things that I'm known for, but I do, because I'm a little bit too broad, and one of the problems I'm trying to do is go, well, where do I actually focus? So we'll come back here and we'll just say, move on to the next step in the workflow, which is aim. Make sure that we've got a GPT in play, and say, start asking you know what? I didn't answer that. It would have been important. Again, if I'd have had the workflow actually listed like this somewhere, the fields would just be quite obvious. So don't need to solve that today. I'll mention it later. But for now, let's move on to questions. Step 4. What is the main focus? Agent workflow builder, a tool and education program around helping people to build agentic workflows to automate and systematize their business, keeping in mind that workflows should be both automations and human in the loop systems. That's really where I want to focus, and the reason we're doing the video today is me focusing on this area, agent workflow builder. How do I automate the different areas of the business? Main focus, we'll take that over there. We'll come over here. Next step, paste that in here. And what do we get? I didn't answer the questions. So again, the workflow builder would make this clearer than just a chat conversation. What short-term goal do you want to achieve in the next? Okay. I want to work with 5 clients one-on-one to help improve their workflows. I also want to develop videos around 10 different SOPs. I don't really know. Okay, I do. For the workflows, I'm just going to automate different SOPs within my business. For the getting clients, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to do calls to action in videos for working one-on-one. And actually, I'm not going to sell that. I'm going to follow the KPI system of, what do they call it? He has this term that he uses on what you sell, and it's not the service or the product. You might be able to tell me the answer. Automate. That's not it. He hasn't got it. Let's go back here. So I had a question which I know and I believe is something that Daniel Priestley talks about. He doesn't talk about selling the product or the service. He wants to sell the appointment, but he has a particular terminology that he has for this. What is that? Now, while this is going on, for workflows, I'm just going to automate different SOPs within my business for getting clients. I think I'm going to do calls to action for working one-on-one. And we just need to go down to the end, one-on-one. But the cell will be based around, and we just come back here. Securing a point. Again, I can't see what it is. He hasn't talked about it in this video, but I hear him talk about it all the time. So we'll just put that in there and see what it comes up with. This is something I can work on later. Workflow builder, want to improve their workflows. Okay. I'm just going to take that information and I'm going to say, can you update the aim? It's not an update. Can you improve, give me an aim based on. Let's do that. And we'll come back to here and say, yes, step 5. Let that go. And let's come and have a look at what this is doing. Aligned with Daniel Presley's LAPS method. Did we say LAPS in here? I don't see it, but it's figured it out because we talked about it just now. Right now, I'm focused on launching Agent Workflow Builder by working one-on-one with 5 clients. I'm also developing video content around 10 key SOPs. Great. Well, these are good. These are good. Like I'm not reading them too much because we're in the live stream. Let's just move on. I think they're too detailed. They were too long, but that's okay. Yes, step 5. Great question. What's your long-term vision for the brand? 3 to 5 years from now. Okay. I have thought leadership across different areas of AI, especially around the idea that this amplification or scalability of knowledge workers is what agents allow us to do. That means that rather than having 100 employees, you might have 10 employees and each employee engages with 100 to 1,000 agents that are doing everything from creating content, validating content, transforming content. And on top of that, I have multiple YouTube channels that are dealing with the areas that I'm passionate about across the AI landscape. And it's about building a loyal and cohesive team and client base. It's about having clients that I love working with. Why does your work matter? I love building. I love seeing things come to life. I love creating. I love seeing people prosper. I love helping people. I love when people don't have to be in the daily grind. I love when I can see people have created systems and automations within their life that serve their life. I love the idea presented within the E-Myth where you should not be serving your business. Your business should be serving your life. It should be serving your team, your staff members. It should be serving your customers. It shouldn't be taking from anyone. Let's paste that in, see what it comes up with. How do you hope to impact your audience or the world with what you're doing? By building software or AAAS systems that solve real problems for people, and educating people on how they can thrive and survive in this new AI economy. Sure. Let's go back to here, and what are we doing? We're in the game. Here is the game. Let's see what it had there. Yeah, so none of this is useful to us because this does not have the context of the original document in it, so I can't trust what it's doing, but I only wanted it as a Q&A bot. I was also only using it to test the idea of how good could the reasoning model of O3 work, and it failed really because it kept going into really long-winded things. I thought what it would do is go, oh, I've got 20 odd questions to go through, and it just go through them. But as soon as I asked it to do stuff like transforming data, it went into a reasoning model on just doing something really simple. So not that, a lot of learning for me, not that useful anywhere. So concise, visionary, alternative. Okay, right. There's a lot of information that you've given me. And what I think we need to do now is consider some elevator pitches. And elevator pitches need to be set in 30 seconds. And some of the answers that you've given me might have been a little bit too long. So why don't you look through everything we've done and give me 10 different elevator pitches. And it doesn't know how to spell pitch, or I don't know how to say it clearly. And the other thing, let's read this. What I want to do is, do I want to test it with 4.0 or do I want to test it with the reasoning model? Because the reasoning model will consider everything above better, I think. Consider all the rules above. Consider all the answers I gave. And we will test it out with the right model. Why can't I see it? Oh, there you go. And now I don't have available. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, because I've used Canvas, I can't use O3 Mini. Looks like we're staying in 4.0. Now as they come through, I might just read one or two of them and I'm going to get a feel. Okay, we should also, while we're here, let's just go timer. Is it stopwatch I want? That looks like it. So let's just go. I'm David Cruis, also known as Happy Dave. I help businesses automate workflows using AI. I've built AI-driven systems that let me run multiple YouTube channels while developing cutting-edge automation tools. Right now, I'm working with businesses to streamline their AI-powered workflows while creating educational content that helps people thrive in the AI economy. 22 seconds, that's cool. Let's do another one. I'm Happy Dave, creator of... Stop. Do it again. I'm David Cruis, creator of Happy Dave. I help businesses systematize and automate their workflows with AI. I've built a 35-step AI-powered workflow system that optimizes content creation and operations. Right now, I'm working one-on-one with business owners to help them streamline their processes and scale without adding extra workflow. That's also cool. That's 22 seconds. This is perfect. So there's others here. I'm not going to go into them all. It's still going on. This is for me to do at the end, to practice and stuff like that. I wonder, let's just head back to the end. So we're now nearly 2 hours in, and for the last 45 minutes, we've really waffled. We've gone deep into the weeds on this, but that's okay, because this is where I get to practice stuff. So to finish up, what have we done? We've gone and looked at what do you do? Okay, so what the heck do I do? And I'll just read one out. I believe AI should serve people, not replace them. I specialize in AI-powered automation, helping businesses integrate intelligent workflows that enhance productivity. My goal is to build systems that allow small teams to function like larger enterprises. This is so true. Leveraging AI to scale efficiently without adding complexity. So that's what I do. I'm also available for one-on-one consulting around this. So if you're interested in that, come on down to the About, I think. Go to the bottom and you can figure out down there how to connect with me. I'm going to improve this process over time. But otherwise, if you're liking this sort of information, please like and subscribe, or head over to the Happy Dave channel if what you're really interested in is just simple, concise videos. Anyway, I'm Happy Dave. Have a wonderful day.